Going on to Heliko's question. Again, sorry if I mispronounced your name. What exercises would you recommend for getting more power out of one stroking? It takes me 8 strokes to get down the ice when doing perimeter stroking. I'd like to get down in 6 strokes. Okay, so this is Heliko's question, and this is somewhat of a very important question. There's a semi-easy fix to it. I mean, it's not easy, but if you do this right, then you're going to be able to do it effectively pretty quickly. It's understanding a couple of principles, and I want to find the video that's most relevant. So just give me a second here. Okay, so we are going to go, let me just switch this out. All right, we are looking at icedanceroleg.com/videos. If you go on icedanceroleg.com and then click on videos. All right, and then we go down to this. I already have the playlist, by the way. The playlist is right here, and then we just have to go down to stroking right here. Okay. So there's a couple of things. They have a bunch of different stroking exercises, but there's one thing that they have in common, and we're going to look at this one right here. And I need to record more stroking exercises for you guys. That's just a fact. But let's watch this. All right. I need to get it from the side. Should watch it from the front as well. This works too. Okay, so this is the same double press exercise you saw earlier in the episode. This is something you can do. It's going to help. What this is developing is great knee and ankle control. It's the same kind of wall pressing exercise that I always bring up. This kind of control, being able to press and control. And now when I show you from the side, I'm going to be explaining why. Here we go. Okay, now let's roll this back just a split second. Okay, so here. All right, now, what often happens is, notice my position. I have my shoulder, hip, heel axis, right? Okay, remember that. Now, still got my axis. To be truthfully honest, I really should be sitting back a little bit more. I mean, the way I'm pushing off works fine, but I can get even more power if I was sitting back on this leg even more. And then we're going to go here. Now, already I'm thrusting myself. I'm switched my axis over, but I'm still maintaining this axis. What skaters sometimes do is they pitch really far with their chest. And let's go back. And this is something you can do as you're doing stroking, Heliko. Watch yourself in the glass. Look at yourself from the side. Are you pitching forward? Are you breaking at the waist? Or are you maintaining the axis? If you're breaking at the waist, your body weight's already gone forward. You're going to have no weight in the pushing foot. The biggest thing in stroking is you need to put weight in the pushing foot. And then that way you can thrust forward. As you get better, you actually do all these presses and pushes from one foot to the other because you're trying to concentrate maximum effort in that pushing foot before thrusting forward. But even on 2 feet, you want to concentrate your body weight right here. All right, and then thrusting. Again, I'm trying to dig in. I'm trying to push through the ice. I'm trying to go into the ice. I'm not trying to push across. Whenever I do this, I'm trying to go in, trying to go deep. And I'm thrusting it through. While I'm trying not to break this, I'm trying to maintain this connection because once I'm here, once I transfer my body weight, once this is gone, it becomes an empty push. So you want to do it to the very last second. You stroke. Now when you bring it in, you're going to press, rise, and stroke. Now, where I'm going to actually show you, we're going to look at some stroking videos next. All right, and here we go. Not the best example because I'm pitching forward with my shoulders here, but for our purposes it will do. So I'm going to show you here. Okay. Again, I'm trying to press. This isn't too bad. You can go a little bit forward. You don't have to be completely straight. You do have to pitch a little bit forward, but I'm not completely broken. You can still see my axis going right here. Okay, if this was like down here and I'd have this kind of a position, that would be bad. You always want to be able to draw a line from the pushing foot through your shoulders. Now, again, this is for skating, and there are other ways of doing it. I just gotta stress this. Like speed skating, they're completely pressed over, and they have their own way of doing it. Hockey, they also do a lot of bending. For our purposes, for our lines, and for our types of stroking, this is what we kind of want to go with. And coaches might also give you different types. Always keep in mind that the first thing you want to do is learn what your coaches teaches. Master their technique first before applying the things that I suggest. But keep in mind, in general, all coaches will agree on 95% of the things. I mean, the things that disagree on are going to be special cases and styles mostly. But in general, it's like coaches are like everyone. They use what works and discard what doesn't. So that's one of those. And again, it's a generalization. But in general, everyone wants to keep moving forward, keep advancing and practicing and pushing the sport forward. Okay, so we press, push, rise. Now, this right now is just my entry steps. Coming around, crossover, and by the way, if you're doing moves, you're allowed no more than 7 intro steps. Step 8 has to be the start of the move, otherwise you get a 0.1 deduction, just as a rule. Anyway, rise, press. Okay, now, here's where people get caught up often. Okay, when we walk, we tend to, lean a little bit forward and then go from one foot to the other. Stroking is not like walking. It's like the inverse walking. You have to press on the old foot. You got to sink into it before transferring to the new foot instead of kind of falling. Walking is basically controlled falling from one foot to the other. In this case, it's the inverse. So you're pressing and then thrusting off the foot. So push. So don't think about walking when doing stroking. If you try to do walking, then you're going to get no power on the ice. Bring it in, press. This is good. Okay, I got my 90-degree bend here. I'm concentrating my body weight. If you look closely, this foot's still off the ice. Right? It's pretty close there. It's maybe half an inch, but it's off the ground. Again, I'm concentrating in this pushing foot right here. I'm building that pressure. I'm maintaining my axis. And I'm thrusting forward. Now, this was me from about 2.5 years ago. I can do stroking better than I did here. But in general, and this is done with 4 strokes, but what I want to point out is that if you do this, it's not the hardest thing in the world. As long as you understand press, stroke, rise. Let's look. Rise. Anyway, that wasn't a good press that time. I'm just going to come around and we're going to look at the other direction. Okay, and coming around. Okay, and rise, press, stroke, rise up straight, press, stroke, rise up straight, press, stroke, rise up straight. Okay, remember, press, stroke, rise. And I'm going to make an updated video so I could break this down a lot slower so you have an idea what you want to focus on. I hope that answered your question for now, Heliko, but I'm going to add it to my list of more stroking.